Why did we let you?
Welcome back to another episode of the Stumped Podcast. I'm Spencer.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Logan.
I gotta admit, I couldn't remember which button was the theme song.
You did a lot
You
better
did?
than yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday you went through all
Yesterday?
the buttons and got
You mean
three of
last
them
week,
wrong.
Logan?
That's
You
what
mean
I
last week?
That's correct.
It's
been a long-
people know we already show up.
It's been a long 7 days.
With Logan snoring last night.
I did not. Did I?
100%.
Stop.
I walked downstairs and I could hear you.
I think it
Freaking
was Spencer.
freight train up there.
It's me in the other room.
No, I heard Spencer fart in the other room. I was like, what is going on right now?
Early morning, guys. Early morning. Oh, well, welcome back. We still got a lot of lifelines, gentlemen. We've only all used one. Matt has completely wasted his Google search.
All right, we don't need to keep bringing that up.
Logan and I.
It's like the 5th time you said that this
I know,
morning.
right? Like-
Wait, watch. I just know what's going to happen now. I'm going to completely waste my Google search.
I hope you do.
Logan and I both have used our fast pace. No, we still haven't phoned a friend. No, the double up or the talking. We haven't touched those yet. So,
Yeah, no, that's correct.
That is correct.
Just fast pace.
okay. Any updates, gentlemen? Before we begin, I'll start with my theme.
Oh, I thought you were going to give us an update.
No.
What's happened in your last
No.
11 hours, Spencer?
Yeah, I know. I will say though, if I don't guess either one of your guys' stories correctly this episode, I'm getting together a big apology for next one. Per the usual. Per the usual. I'll kick us off here with my theme. You guys know I like festivals. About once a season, I do fun festivals. I decided to switch it up. I'm doing interesting traditions from around the world.
I was going to say your festival episodes are fun and all, but don't you usually lose a lot of points those weeks?
Every single one.
Episode 5 and you've season 3, and how many times have you done festival related things?
I do it once a season.
Yeah, he's done 2.
Okay.
Done 2.
Both just burned him.
Crashed and burned twice. So that's why we're switching up to traditions.
Because if there's one thing me and Matt do a
traditions.
fair amount of, it's traveling. So like the festivals of
Well, we're going traditions for a reason, gentlemen.
good. I like it. I feel
Just,
good
like,
about this,
He
Matt.
just names like some Baptist tradition, and we're just like, aha!
Logan, you got a theme? I know you got a theme.
I always have a theme. All right, we're doing animals of war. We're talking about times that people and animals went to war.
I am so looking forward to
And
this.
it's not the one you all know. Everyone knows that one. I'm not using that. I'm not an
I
idiot.
don't even know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I
Stop.
could tell you what you're talking about right now, actually.
I'm not going to say any more
Okay.
in case you're actually...
Matt, we know you don't got a theme, so.
Actually,
Uh-oh.
my theme
Ooh.
is losing. So I don't have a theme. No,
Okay.
I don't.
Per the usual.
I'm trying to create themes, and then like I'm looking at all my stories, and I'm like, I tag all my stories with like, are they animal related, people, war, and I'm like, all right, well, this is a random collection of 30 different
Hodgepodge.
tags that don't make any sense at all.
Okay.
So you take 2 randoms and you just make something up.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah,
this is the
I
theme.
could.
Anyways, who wants to go first?
Not you. You went first yesterday.
I know.
That's
I know.
true,
That's
that's
why
true.
in the.
I'll kick us off. I
Okay,
don't do
Matt.
that very often.
Let's reverse order this bad boy.
Yeah,
Okay, let's do it.
reverse order this. Let's let me see if I want to use any lifelines first. If I say like no talking, I have to say that first.
You can say it whenever you want. You can say it at the beginning. You could say it at the end.
Whenever you stay...
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm cutting
FYI,
out.
we'll have issues with Logan's mic, but
Per
we'll get
tradition.
it corrected next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever you say it, we're done talking.
All right. And the double up is you guys have to,
Be on separate
and
ones.
I can say that
Yeah.
at any time.
Correct.
Yep.
Before you lock in, obviously.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, you say it whenever. Yes.
And this puts the
But
one
yeah.
person on pressure.
Yeah.
And then fast pace is just you gotta pick. Okay, so my 3 here. I guess you could say these are animal related.
Oh, see, here's a theme.
Yeah, there's a theme. Sir salmon, birds, baby, and milk stash.
I'm feeling milk stash a little bit.
Yeah. Do you get a bad milk stash when you like drink milk in the morning?
Some have said yes. Some
Oh.
have said no.
That was not helpful at all. Go ahead.
Yeah, what?
Just give me the milk stash.
Got milk?
Oh my gosh. Just tell me the stinking story.
I almost named it Milk.
He's drinking that
You guys
delicious
remember that
coffee.
skit? You guys remember that skit?
Yeah,
Milk. Yeah, I almost
Yep.
named it Milk.
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You remember that?
No,
I'll show
what
you that
happened?
later. I'll show you that
Okay.
later. That's part of this whole story. I'm just joking. Clemson University's dairy product
False.
Delicious.
team consisted of 5 students. Won the Collegiate Dairy Products Evaluation Contest in 2018 and 2018 through 2019 year. The team was able to identify various attributes among samples within 6 different. What was that?
My whiteboard.
Oh,
I
I was
drew.
like, within 6 different dairy product categories: milk, yogurt, butter, cottage cheese, cheddar cheese, and ice cream. Clemson's dairy product team won the All Products Award, as well as first place in yogurt, second place in both cottage cheese and milk, and third place in butter. Coach Sarah Cothran, former competitor and current FNPS faculty member, trained the team for years, and they tasted and analyzed dairy products in the grueling morning hours. Clemson's Francis, I'm going to butcher this last name, Francis, Shurin, won the individual all products winner and milk judging champion of the competition. The team's future is promising, and Clemson may need to look to securing the top NIL deals and a 10-year contract with their signing bonus, Coach Cothran.
For what? I don't
have questions.
I don't even understand the story.
What are they like? Are they just eating milk products? And be
Evaluating
like,
dairy.
this is butter.
Evaluating-
This is cottage cheese. Like, you just identify
the
them.
attributes. They're verifying. Sorry, they're evaluating the attributes in the different categories. So it's like what's the
Like wine tasting or something. Yeah.
When did this start? When were they?
They won in the 2018-2019 school year.
Okay.
I don't believe this at all, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I just couldn't fathom people gathering together to eat butter at like grueling hours of the morning.
No, I definitely can't. It's a college campus. Are you kidding me? Those dudes do anything.
What, like cottage cheese, like the Converse Classic?
The Converse Classic. A little
Okay.
shout out to that.
Okay,
Alright.
what's second? I don't know.
You want Bird's Baby or Sir Salmon?
Sir Salmon.
Sir
'Cause
Salmon.
I hate that fish.
Okay. Sushi is a favorite meal for many people around the world, but some residents in Taiwan are going to extraordinary lengths to get their hands on it for free by officially renaming themselves Salmon to take advantage of a restaurant's promotion. The restaurant chain Sushiro ran a promo that would give free sushi to anyone whose name included the Chinese characters for salmon. But wait, there's more. That person plus 5 guests could get a meal for free as long as they had a government-issued ID proving that their name had the characters salmon in it. The promo prompted a rush of name changes at registration offices in Taiwan, with people mentioning that they were only doing it for the promotion. Taiwan's Minister of the Interior ended up getting involved in urging people to think carefully about doing this, as they are only allowed to change their name 3 times according to the Name Act. So in theory, they could be stuck with the name Salmon if they didn't think this through.
So they were changing their legal names.
Changing their legal names for
To
the
salmon.
characters that had, the different characters that have salmon.
I don't know.
I'm over 2 on believing you.
Good.
Wait. Before we continue. Spencer, why don't you like salmon?
Yeah, that's a good
Is,
point.
is the grossest fish, and I will give a shout out right now to one Jacob Abrahamson, was one of my college roommates, and he would cook salmon, and I would smell it in our apartment, and I would be like, Jacob, are you cooking salmon? And he loved it, but I just despise salmon with every
Salmon's
bone in my being.
So good. One of my roommates would cook it and share it, and he was a wonderful cook.
Ugh.
It was good. Anyway.
What's the last one?
Last one is Birds, baby. Melody Yang is the world record holder for the largest bubble blown outside without using her hands. Her family holds numerous of records for bubbles and even has a show called the Gazillion Bubble Show. On the day of competition, Melody arrived at the park where the event was being held. She took a deep breath and began to blow her bubble. The bubble grew closer and closer to the 20-inch record. The judges watched closely. Measuring the bubble. Sorry, just watching Logan just.
I'm just trying to ballpark what 20 inches looks like on a bubble.
As a melody. Oh, gosh.
Impressive.
Sorry. So measuring the bubble carefully to see if it met the requirements for the world record. As Melody was approaching the record, a crow flew by Melody, popping the bubble. She would try 2 more times that day and simply could not break the record. Fortunately, 2 weeks later, she was able to do it without any interference of crows. Ended up with a 23-inch bubble.
Very few times in this podcast that I go, I legitimately don't believe any of them. Like, not many times am I like...
I'll be the first to admit, I know one of the 3 is true. I just have no idea of the other 2. So I'm truly 50-50.
You want to help me out?
Absolutely not.
All right, we're going to use, because we're on episode 5, we're going to go double up. So that is,
Okay.
let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly.
Bummer.
You guys cannot have the same answer.
Correct.
And if you do...
We don't get points if we're right.
Correct.
So the most you can get is 2, the
Okay.
least you can get is 0.
Zero.
We
Zero.
can't set, and we can't get anything if
Okay,
we're
Logan.
And the
Right
most
or
you can
wrong.
get is 1.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell me which one's false? And
we're
we
going
go
to use
50-50
we're
on
going to
it?
use double up.
Do I want to tell you which one's false? Yes, if you let me get first choice. How lost are you?
I really don't know because I really think I've heard number 1. But the thing that's throwing me off with number 1 is he said NIL.
And NIL wasn't
Was
around
it-
until 2021.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Gosh dang.
It's also what I was thinking.
But that story's true.
1 is true?
Yeah. So I know that for a fact. I think he just threw NIL in there for...
Well, the NIL might be something they're recently trying to sign deals to. I don't know. Now I'm torn because we can't do the same thing.
So obviously...
I'll tell you which one I know is true. But
which one? I actually don't know if number 1 is true.
All right. Well, if I know one is true, I'm going to lock in my answer. Are you going to double down with me or not?
Man, I should have no talking. Get you guys to shut it.
Well, don't tell me what you're doing. Tell me which one's false, and we'll go 50-50 on it.
Tell you which one's false.
Or which one's the true one.
I'll play some mind games. It's number 2. Number 2's true. I've heard that before.
See, I don't
People
know.
naming their name Salmon.
See, I don't know if you're telling me the truth here at all.
Oh, this is fun.
But
'cause
that
you
was
can't show
actually-
your cards.
No.
This is
I don't
fun.
know if you're telling me the truth whatsoever, but I wasn't going to choose 2, and so that gave me 0 help. So even if 2's false, then I don't know.
I've locked in.
This is tough. So I'm truly debating between 1 and 3.
Yeah.
And if... that did
That's
not
where I was
help.
at the whole time.
Me
So
too.
I just flipped the coin.
I wasn't... And number 1 is killing me because the NIL. He said that, and I was like, that is not a thing.
I caught that too because it wasn't a thing till 2021.
Yes. And what really hurts is the crow. Because I know he uses ChatGPT, whatever.
Yeah.
When I tried it once, the middle of the story sounded so much exactly what chat would do. And so I'm like, I just don't know.
With the crow popping it.
Yep.
Crows do love shiny objects.
Man, I wrote down 1 and just erased it, so I'm truly debating between the NIL.
Oh, I didn't think this would take that much thought.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The
Good thing you
NIL.
used double up.
The NIL is really tripping me up. That is really, really hurting me here. Golly. This is the slowest I've ever been with the whiteboard.
Yeah,
And-
you're normally pretty quick on this.
I know.
That's okay.
The crow was the bubble blowing, and then
Yeah, crow was bubble blowing.
That was
and
number
then,
3. 1 was
it went
cheese eaters.
mustache. It went the cheese eaters.
The salmon was
the
2.
salmon.
I locked
and then
in.
it went
Okay.
birds.
Did you do? Dang.
we doubled up.
We doubled up.
Yes.
What was true?
Maybe.
Salmon
We'll
was
see.
true, right?
So salmon is a true story.
Yeah.
I didn't actually realize they had a name match, but they can only change it so many times. So some people were changing, like it's already the first time changing the name.
Yeah.
Already done it once.
Some people
So changing it back,
Yeah.
you're done. You can't
Yeah.
change it anymore. I was like, oh, never really thought about that, but
When I heard this, there was a guy who made his 3rd name change without realizing
That's hilarious.
salmon. So he was stuck with an
so
egg.
funny.
yeah, no, I didn't.
That
I didn't
is
hear that part.
hilarious.
That's hysterical.
I was waiting for that part to come out of like, yeah, like
no,
his name
I
was
did,
salmon.
that was not in the article that I read.
Yeah, that one I wasn't even thinking about. It was really between 1 and 3.
All right. Stash or birds?
You break it to us.
Yeah.
Whichever one
Break
you
it
want.
to us?
You
We're-
get, you get the same point.
Are we doubled up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I picked
All
3.
right. You picked 3, which is birds?
Yeah.
So birds is the false story.
Darn. Good choice.
Great job
it is
using
the
it.
false story.
Did you add NIL in there?
No, that is actually in Clemson's article.
Well, and it
Is
probably came in.
NIL.
It probably came into play within the
probably
last
wrote
year or
it,
something.
yeah.
They probably updated it.
It's in their archives. So it's literally
That's interesting.
clemson.world/archive.
No, I don't doubt it.
Dairy eaters.
I don't doubt it at all. It seems like something.
And there's just
science
so
would
many
do.
things that people are like, congrats, adding another national championship to the list. And I'm like, is
Slash
this really?
Dairy eaters.
Yeah. No, I don't doubt that.
Oh, man.
If the NIL wasn't in there, I would have gone 3 like
So
in a second.
The bird popping
The odds of a bird
Did-
popping your balloon.
did use AI, but I both basically ditched the whole story that pushed
Really?
out because it was trash. So I just kind of pulled different pieces of it,
Did
and
you?
I was like, I have to manipulate this a little bit. So it all
I-
came from a general headline.
Yeah.
And then just went,
Truly, what it came down for me was the odds of a crow zooming by at the perfect time. That's like a Randy Johnson baseball thing. I'm like, this just can't happen.
The thing that stuck me to 3 was you saying, I think I've heard the story, but I don't know about the NIL. And I was like, NIL comp me, but if you think you've heard it, I'm just going 3.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to, I'm gonna either force you to put one you know, or we'll just cancel each other out.
Yeah,
So
because
we all
I feel
got
like I
zero?
had
Yeah.
zeros because I feel like I did hear that. I'm just
Yeah.
like the NIL is just tripping me up like crazy. Would you have gone 1?
No.
Okay.
I think I was leaning 3 anyway. I spent a lot of time on a dairy farm growing up, so I have a good appreciation for anyone that can just eat raw butter. And
Okay.
yeah, that was the amazing thing. It's
wanted
literally
it to
like
be
a
true.
sommelier or whatever. They
Yeah.
just kind of like taste things. I was like, this is
Matt, that was a
insane.
perfect use of the double up there.
Yeah.
Oh, woo.
You saved yourself 2
Saved
points,
myself
essentially.
2
Yeah.
points.
Okay.
Heck
Zeros.
yeah.
All right.
Logan.
All right.
Now I don't have to do a public apology because I guess one right.
And you
But
still
you
didn't get
did
any
get the
points.
Doesn't matter. I guess one right. Okay.
All right. Do you want Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolves? Do you want Crocodile Hunter 2 when Crocs Strike Back? Or Cobra Kai British Edition?
Matt, you choose. I
I
don't
want
even
the-
care.
I want the crocodiles.
Okay.
Crocodile Hunter 2 when Crocs Strike Back. And you know what? I think we're going to use no talking on this one.
Okay.
Just
Matt, do you know
because.
sign language?
Yeah.
Good, because I do too.
Okay,
What?
cool.
That's not agreed.
Okay.
We,
read 'em.
we actually met last night over baseball signs.
Yeah.
A,
This
B,
is
C.
indicator.
Okay,
Go
Logan,
chin
start
to
us
1,
off.
ear for 2.
And I start my silence now.
This is the
Mute
most.
our mics.
This is the most peaceful thing I've seen on this show. No, go ahead. All right. I told myself to go ahead because you can't. Crocodile Hunter 2. During World War II, the Japanese Imperial Army captured Ramri Island in 1942. The island lies off the Burma coast, 70 miles south of Akiab, now known as Sittwe. Since Ramri was strategically important, the Allies launched an attack in 1945 to retake the island and establish air bases to support the mainland campaign. After a bloody campaign, British troops managed to drive nearly 1,000 enemy combatants off the island into the dense mangrove swamp that covered some 10 miles of Ramri. The defeated Japanese soldiers ignored all the appeals by the British for their surrender and instead abandoned their base and entered the swamp. Most of the Japanese troops succumbed to tropical diseases carried by swarms of mosquitoes, as well as the various poisonous spiders, snakes, and scorpions found in the marsh. Another additional problem for the Japanese troops was the lack of drinking water and constant threats of starvation. Despite these numerous hazards, one danger stood out as the greatest. One night, the British soldiers reported hearing panicked screams and gunfire emanating from within the darkness of the swamp. They didn't know exactly what caused the shouts of terror they had heard, only that the Japanese troops were being ravaged by some evil menace. Unfortunately, for the Imperial Army, the mangrove swamps, is it mangrove or mangrove? Mangrove, thank you. Swamps of Ramri Island were home to an unknown amount of the largest reptilian predator in the world, the saltwater crocodile. The saltwater crocodile can grow up to 20 feet long and weigh 2,000 pounds. And I just want to say, I don't think we truly understand how terrifying a 20-foot crocodile would be. But Even a mid-sized crocodile could easily kill a full-grown adult male, with many being known to eat animals as vast as the Indian water buffalo. The soldiers were viciously and mercilessly attacked by the crocodiles. There's a long history of the saltwater crocodiles attacking humans who wander into their habitats. Ultimately, only 500 of the 1,000 Japanese soldiers managed to survive the Ramri swamps, some of them being so badly injured and mauled they were later captured by the British forces. So, crocodiles ate literally 500 Japanese soldiers in an evening because they were in their swamp. So, that's story number 1. I'll let you guys talk to let me know whether you want the Little Red Riding Hood or Cobra Kai.
Give me Cobra Kai.
Okay.
The click of your microphone.
I know. I love that you're actually muting yourself. During the British rule of colonial India, there was such a large infestation of cobras that the British government began offering locals a snake bounty. The rules were simple. Any citizen who brought a dead cobra to the certified centers would receive payment for each dead cobra they brought in. The idea worked great for a while. Then the British government began noticing the number of payouts skyrocketing. Upon investigation, they quickly realized the locals were breeding cobras in their houses, then killing them off in large numbers, and either turning them in themselves or selling them at a discount to neighbors to let them take them in to throw suspicion off of any one person. The British were enraged at the Indian citizens for taking advantage of what they considered a generous program, so they immediately cut all funding, and the cobra bounty was off. This is not where the story ends, however, because with the bounty now cut, thousands of cobras that were being raised in people's houses had no value. They simply released them into the streets, and Delhi soon had a larger cobra problem than before. It's now a primary example of what people refer to as the cobra effect, where if possible manipulation of an offering must be considered before making an offer. So, score 1
I
cobras.
know I'm not allowed to talk. Genius business move.
Score 1 cobras. Score 0 British government. Not the first war they lost to animals. Anyway, that's the story I thought you guys knew. The first war they lost to animals. We'll tell you that one off the air, maybe. Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolves. The winter of 1916 and 17, during the German attack on Russia on the Eastern Front of World War I, both sides found themselves plagued with a new enemy, wolves. The wolves were tracking the battle and feasting on the dead bodies left behind. As the winter raged on, however, the wolves got increasingly more bold to the point in which they would come in packs and attack small bands of soldiers. Neither side was immune to this. So, after this had gone on for some time, the commanders of each side decided to declare an official armistice, or ceasefire, and team up to eradicate the wolves. The New York Times wrote about the incident in 1917, saying, quote, "In the course of last winter's campaign, the wolves of the Polish and Baltic Russians had amassed to such numbers in the Konvo-Wilma-Minsk district as to become a veritable plague to both Russian and German fighting forces. So persistent were the half-starved beasts in their attack of small groups of soldiers that they became a serious menace even to fighting men in the trenches. Poison, rifle fire, hand grenades, and even machine guns were tried successively in attempts to eradicate the nuisance, but all to no avail. The wolves, nowhere to be found quite so large and powerful as in Russia, were desperate in their hunger, and regardless of danger, fresh packs would appear in place of those that were killed by the Russian and German troops. As a last resort, two adversaries, with the consent of the commanders, entered into negotiations for an armistice, joined forces to overcome the wolf plague. For a short time there was peace, and in no haphazard fashion was the task of vanquishing the mutual foe undertaken. The wolves were gradually rounded up, and eventually several hundred of them were killed. The others fled in all directions, making their escape from carnage, the like of which they had never encountered. It is reported the soldiers have not been molested again. Their word, not mine. Thank you, New York Times. Once they had killed off the wolves, they returned to killing each other. The battle raged on. Enemies turned friends, turned enemies, all over the common bond of not wanting to be the next snack for the big bad wolves. And there's my stories. And now I get to fill this time with silly songs with Logan.
I locked in.
Good.
Did you lock in?
I locked in.
Okay.
Oh, well, then you
Now
can
I
talk.
can talk.
Okay.
How confident are you?
We can talk after locking in?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was brutal.
So I'm not super confident, but here is legitimately why I chose the one I chose. And I'll tell you, I chose number 2. The only reason I chose number 2.
Cobra Kai.
Yep. The only reason is because there's a TV show that I watched with my dad where they kill snakes and they get money for it in like Florida. That is the only reason I chose number 2.
Of course, it's in Florida.
Cobra Kai.
Go ahead,
So, I hate this. I also chose number 2.
Oh no.
Cobra Kai.
We're
The
either
reason
Logan's smiling so
I
much.
know.
He got double points.
The reason I chose it, and I'm regretting it, but because Spencer chose it and he's not doing great picking, but neither am I. So, I chose it because that exact story happened in Florida. They put a bounty on pythons.
Yes, that's exactly why I chose it.
They put a bounty on pythons, and all you have to do is produce the head of the python and receive a small reward. It really wasn't much, but an insane amount started coming in, and they ended up finding out people were farming pythons to literally cut them off once they got a certain size and deliver like bags of python heads.
Yeah.
So when it later happened, it said they stopped the bounty and they just let the snakes go. And that's why Florida still had a python issue. My thought behind it was, you have 2 true stories. You need a false story. You can get your theme and find something and make it up. His words almost exact,
that's
like
better
literally
reasoning.
20 minutes ago.
That's better reasoning.
So that is why I went that route. I have a feeling it is the wrong route, and because I wouldn't be surprised if Florida learned nothing from history.
Yeah, I was debating between.
Florida.
No, but he's saying like Florida came after.
Yeah,
The Florida event came
So,
like in the early
I know,
2000s or something.
I was debating between 1 and 2. I'll be completely frank. I stopped listening to the Wolves because I'm like, I think this is probably true. I was literally like, okay, between 1 and 2, and the TV show swayed me, and the TV show only swayed me.
Alrighty.
Tell us number 3 is
break
true.
our hearts.
Or you can pick one that's true.
Gosh dang it.
Let's start with number 1 because number 1 is true with the
Rocks.
crocodiles.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have true literally on my board.
Yeah.
So here's the dilemma. If number 2 is true, I was not going to get the point because I was only choosing between 1 and 2. So I feel better about myself now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually went cautious on the estimates of 500 soldiers. Some said the full 1,000 were eaten, but some said that some made it out. So
Okay,
I went with the
it's
more
just kind of
generous
a
reports.
Different reports
That's
coming out
insane.
of different areas. Yeah.
But big crocodile problems.
Time to break your hearts.
Cobra Kai is true.
Yep.
British government did that. Florida learned
Gosh,
nothing.
Dang it.
Did you know about the Florida thing? There's a TV show.
No,
there's
never heard of it.
literally a TV show
There's
about
a
it.
whole, like, thing about
No,
how
my
they
fake story was the wolves, and this is what I was telling you about. This was real, and when I first read it, I'm like, someone presented this to me as true. I looked it up, and the second article goes debunked. Why there was no armistice on the Eastern Front of World War II. So I read into it, and they were like, what would happen is occasionally, battle would be raging, a group of wolves would come in, and they would all just kind of turn and shoot the wolves, in maybe like mini unspoken like, let's not die from wolves, and then keep shooting each other. There was never an armistice. There was never an official ceasefire. And they're very good about keeping records of official ceasefires like that. Like the Christmas Day armistice that went out.
Interesting. So this
wolves-
could be true.
No, it's not true. I'll give you the article on why it's
I don't care. I believe you.
Wolves were, I only say that to say wolves were a problem on the Eastern Front, but never enough of a problem to stop killing each other over. Like there was never a day in which they were like, no, let's be friends and kill the wolves. Like, no, they just killed everything then, wolves and each
Okay.
other. So
Well done.
that was a lie. The New York Times article was the real article that was published, though,
Really?
recounting it. But then the Russian media came out and was like, no.
Wait, you trusted
There's
the
no
Russian media?
So
No,
you
well-
trust the Russian media of the New York Times?
No. Then after,
I
then-
sense some.
no. Let me finish.
potential-
The New York
I
Times
sense
recanted
the dolphin story all over.
New York Times
New York
recanted
Times
it. Okay.
recanted it, saying their sources were unofficial and they didn't do proper research. And
nothing new.
yeah, par for the course for them. So no, they recanted it, but I did read the original story that they thought was
Okay.
yeah.
Well done.
I'm struggling
Thank you.
so much.
I don't even feel bad about that one because I wasn't getting that right. I was literally between 1 and 2, so
Yeah.
usually I feel like crap that sucks. Now I'm like, okay, whatever. Okay.
I literally wrote wolves over the top, therefore it's true.
Yes.
I stopped listening.
It is slightly over the top to think Germans and Russians would stop killing each other to fight wolves
Well,
together.
it was the amount of wolves that were just like
Oh, yeah.
going around and eating people and all that
yeah,
kind of
also
stuff.
also true.
Okay.
Dang it.
Okay.
Spencer,
Yep.
your time to shine here.
It is.
Are you both at 0 points still?
0 points.
0 points.
Wow, I
0
liked your
points.
double up now.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I'd gotten a point, but
0 points. Okay. We got traditions. We'll go countries. Denmark, India, Madagascar.
are you familiar with the musical Fiddler on the Roof?
Nope.
Is that one of the traditions he's going to mention?
No, there's a song in there where they sing about. I'm not gonna sing it. I was in Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh, man.
My musical career.
Traditions. Does that come
Yes,
up?
that's the song.
I did. So here's actually, I'll share a quick story about
Yeah.
Fiddler on the Roof. Our high school play, our high school would have these massive musical productions. They were insane. They were phenomenal too. And Fiddler on the Roof, my senior year, was the play.
That was my senior year.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in it. Go
Okay.
ahead.
And so I had a lot of friends. So I said, okay, I'm going to go. I don't know if all my friends know this. Jamie Tobin, Ben Schaub. I think there's a couple other ones I need to apologize to. But so I went
Name
one
drop.
night. Yeah. I went to one night and I was sitting up on we had the really comfy seats up on the like upper deck. And I was
the balcony.
Yep, kind of, but not really. And I was against the wall. I passed out for a good thing. 30, 40 minutes. Like completely asleep. Woke up and was like, oh my gosh, I've missed so much. So I
You're
apologize.
like, why is this guy on the roof? What's going on?
I apologize to all my friends. So, okay.
That's awesome.
So we got Denmark, India, or Madagascar.
Denmark?
Okay.
Denmark.
I'm very familiar with my Denmark festivals. Go ahead.
Okay. This is a tradition, not a festival.
Yeah, I'm lost then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Denmark,
Done.
if you turn
No, Grace
if you
laughing
turn
right
25 and are unmarried, not only do you face Valentine's alone, but you also must endure your friends and family submerging you in a cloud of cinnamon. This long-standing tradition in Denmark is customary if a man or woman turns 25 and is still single. They get splashed with water, and then they get covered from head to toe in cinnamon. It's not a form of punishment, but more an excuse to be silly with your friends and family, and a tradition that dates back hundreds of years.
Is this the original cinnamon challenge?
I should have named it the original Cinnamon Challenge.
Yeah, well, some of us have better names than others.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I like it. I hope it's true.
Do we want India or Madagascar?
India. Please be
India.
a snake.
Yeah. In some parts of India, toddlers are tossed from the roof of temples from 15 and 30 feet above the ground and are caught by a blanket held by the followers. This practice originated roughly 700 years ago when infant mortality was high, and they didn't have medical advances.
Duh.
To supplement the kids. So by doing this, by throwing the kids off the temple, they thought it would bring good luck to the children. It was a traumatic ordeal for the toddler, and the child rights activists. And the child rights activists managed to ban it in 2011. However, faithful followers continued to practice it in 2012.
I want to go back to how this started. Like, hey, so many kids are dying. What should we do? Like, person two, have we tried throwing them off the roof yet? Like, no, why haven't we? It just makes sense.
Who's like, after watching Fiddler on the Roof, they're like, oh, wow, we can throw them off the top and they might be okay.
Did you hear about that fiddler on the roof? Let's throw a child.
Like, I want that to be so true.
I need
can
that to be
only
true.
imagine what Spencer was thinking if it's possible writing it. It's just like, Well, we can throw babies off of roofs. We have to catch them. Ah.
At first they tried.
Throws a dart on the map, India.
At first they were just trying to catch them with their hands, but when that didn't work, the blanket.
When that increased the... Oh my god.
Traumatic experience. You know, I jumped off a roof one time about that height. It is traumatic.
So they have no control.
I about got impaled. I was in the Dominican Republic. We were sanding walls of a school. It was a 2-story building, so we're at the very top of it, so 20 feet or so.
Yeah.
And there was a pile of sand below us, and we're like, we should jump into that sand. And so we did, and it wasn't soft, and there was rebar sticking straight up.
Oh.
I was like
Oh.
within a foot of probably being impaled and not being here. I had no idea.
Well, it's
Until-
because you didn't
yeah.
get thrown off the roof for good luck. Or maybe you did
Yeah.
for good luck.
I had great luck. I
You
lived.
gotta talk to your parents.
What's funny is I was telling them this story like 6 months ago. They're like, you never told us this. I was like, oh, Yeah, I guess I didn't.
Let's just go to the nearest church.
Just throw.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Go ahead.
I do have one question on that.
Yep.
Did you say it's still being practiced, or 2012 was the last time it was practiced?
I would say it's probably still going on.
Okay.
Probably, or it is. I need an answer.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
You just lie.
Okay. In the Orinomo tribe of Madagascar, upon marriage and after the wedding feast, the bride is laid out on a table while the groom forcibly removes her 2 back molars, fastens it into a necklace and wears it as a symbol that he is married. However, the Oromo men are allowed to take more than one wife, so it's very common to see tribal leaders with a necklace full of teeth. Then, when the husband dies during the burial ritual, they put all the teeth in the man's mouth before burying him, which symbols being buried with his wives.
Nothing would make me choose a single life more.
Yeah.
Knowing that getting
Holy
married
crap.
is going to get my molars ripped out. And I'm guessing they don't use anesthesia.
Yeah, no, that's just.
What's
I-
worse, getting your teeth pulled out or getting thrown off a roof as a kid?
The teeth.
100% the teeth.
100% the teeth. Why you're like because you know it's coming. You're like,
Yeah.
all right, time to go. Oh no. You like get propped up, lay on the table, open your mouth, and just.
That's disturbing. Not to mention, it's very hard to pull molars.
Strong men.
Like, I don't want that to be true.
I am really
Well,
torn right now.
Yeah, I'm lost.
I'm really torn.
I know which one I believe the most. I should just write that down and not think twice.
So my problem is
Do you know any of them?
I have heard one of them. Was it from a satire post?
Not
Because
me.
I read a lot of those nowadays. Or was it not in that specific area? I have a feeling the lie isn't that, it didn't happen in India or something like that. Like,
Yeah, I think it's probably fake.
So the story then would have to be true. And that's where I'm just like, I'm struggling really hard. A lot of the pressure is also, I want a point.
You want to tell
I
me
want
which
at
one you
least
know is
one
true?
point. The problem is I don't know if it's true. It's like, I think it may have been satire.
Well, I will
If
side with
it's
you completely for that.
If it's satire, he could have just read the same article that I read.
Yeah.
I've heard the Denmark one. I've heard the
If it
being
makes-
single.
yeah.
I've heard that one. I've heard the cinnamon. Like as he's explaining, I'm like, all right, there's this tradition
Yeah.
that goes on, and it's just done by your family now.
If it makes you feel better, I'd never even consider that one. And that's why I think it's probably going to be that one, honestly. But
See, and that's
that
my
just
problem. I
sounds
don't
so
remember
believable.
if it was a satire site that wrote it or if it is a true story. My problem with India is when he was reading it, he said it was banned in 2011, but people still partake in 2012. Sounds like an article from 2012.
My problem with the India one is it's so fun. I mean, who doesn't want to chuck a kid, right? Like,
I mean,
that's the
yeah.
sort of thing he makes up because he knows we want it to be true.
Fair.
Like, some of his most fun stories are lies, and it hurts. Because it's like, I need this to be
I
true.
need it to be true, and it's not.
Of the three, that's the one I most hope is true. Like, that's
Really?
hilarious to me.
Madagascar, like,
Child rights
he's
activists.
created stories where you kill hundreds of cows and stuff
Oh.
like that. So like, I could see him like being in the I could see him sitting in the dentist and like getting wisdom teeth worked on or something. And he's just like,
Here's
I wonder if this was a marriage tradition.
here's my thing with the Madagascar. I have two problems with it. One, I have a feeling that it's like you could take the teeth of the deceased or something like that, put them on a necklace, and he's like, oh, how can I twist this? Because, number two, my biggest problem, it's really hard to remove molars. Like, it's like not an easy process, especially by the time you reach adulthood. You need very special tools. I
mean,
I don't see how that could be happening, but that probably means it's true.
that's where I'm. Okay, first off, Spencer, just well done.
Yeah, these
Well
are good.
I made us have to flip a coin.
Between Madagascar and India?
Well, you've got a Google search still you can use.
Yeah, but for which? I want to use that when I'm 50-50.
That's fair.
I am shot in the dark right now.
Dude, this is. I'm just glad I didn't do a fast pace.
I mean, I can try to search the India throwing children off roofs, but I'm not sure what's coming up on my
That's
Google.
such a long search. That's such a long search.
It is. I get 10 seconds. I just got to see if there's an article about throwing kids off roofs.
I just don't want him to get 2 points.
I don't want him to get 2 points either.
So I am not going to go with whatever you choose.
Oh, bless you, sir.
So I will let you pick.
All right.
You tell me, and I'll just.
I'm between 2 and 3.
You're between 2 and 3. 2 and 3 is India and Madagascar.
He's cracking huge smiles. It's Denmark.
You know what? Son of a gun.
I don't believe any of these.
I want to say Denmark is the answer, is the false one, but I also am like, I've heard this.
Every part of my head screams 3. Just write 3 and circle it. Write 3 and circle it. It's not going to be 3.
All right, I'm gonna go Denmark.
Okay. No, I appreciate you doing that for me.
I am locking in my answer. I probably got 0 points. That's okay because
2 or 3.
if he doesn't get 2 points, I'm good.
2 or 3. 2 or 3.
And I hate how much he's enjoying this.
I know. Me too. Which way will I be more mad if I'm wrong?
I'll be mad if you double up.
I'm locked in. I did not double up with you.
All right, I'm locked.
Are you telling me which
No.
one you're on? Okay.
I'm not giving you that satisfaction.
I didn't say a word during that because that was just hilarious to see you guys talk. Okay.
I hate this part so much right now.
Let's start.
Just tell me that Denmark's true.
Matt, I don't even care.
Well,
if
let's start with number 2, the Hindu.
Number 2. Okay.
Logan, I know you chose number 3. That's why I'm going number 2. And number 2 is completely true.
Oh, blessed.
Yep.
Blessed. I went 3. Would
Number
you read
2.
my handwriting?
Huh?
Did you read my handwriting? Or you see
No,
the
I
board?
knew you would. The way you were talking, I'm like, he's going number 3.
Yeah, I did. I went
So
3.
that one's completely true.
Okay.
Now, there is nothing more than I like to make up a story.
Oh, I know.
And my mom is a dental hygienist.
Yeah.
So I understand how hard molars are. But
That's true.
I love a good satire story.
Denmark with satire?
I love a good satire story. I think it was the Babylon Bee or something like that. Denmark is completely true.
So Madagascar.
Sorry, Matt. Madagascar is completely made up.
I knew it. I heard about it, and I was like, you know what? Madagascar.
But
cool.
I love a good satire. But Madagascar is completely false. The tribe's real, and I was literally like, what's the hardest tooth to pull out? What would be the most painful? And I was like, oh, the molars. And I just kind of like went from there.
I've never had a tooth pulled.
So you're completely correct. The molars are incredibly tough.
I've heard stories because my dad has wisdom teeth pulled, and he said they had like pliers had a knee on his chest and were trying to pull and could barely get it out. And I'm like, how do you do this back then? Like in a tribe without that kind of technology.
Yeah.
Strong man. No.
So yeah, no, Madagascar is false whatsoever. That now, if it's out there, it might be out there. I don't know where it's at.
I cannot fathom that is out there.
I'm 99% sure it's not the Orem tribe in Madagascar. The Orem tribe, I don't even think is in Madagascar. I just Googled a cool name for a tribe and clicked Madagascar as a country. So,
and you used a long enough word, I couldn't Google it.
yeah. So that's false. So Logan got it right. Well done, dude.
Wow. I've never been less confident of an answer on this podcast.
The Hindu one, I read that one like 6 times because I was literally laughing so hard reading it because I don't know. I think it still actually continues today.
Was the article from 2012?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was banned in 2011, and then pretty much the faithful followers were like, "Screw you! I'm going to continue it."
I'm just glad that I was actually right in my picking of India.
logical.
Wait, there's a picture. I need to show you this picture.
Gosh,
And the kid's face falling off the temple is like exactly what you envision. Like,
They just threw me.
and I think it only happens in December or something like that. And it's horrible, but man, is it comical.
I
So,
100% plan on throwing my first kid off of a building now.
yeah.
I mean, it's just logic. It's
They
good
catch
luck.
it with a blanket.
Yeah.
So I read, I couldn't verify this for facts,
that better
but
be a strong blanket.
so
I'll have you two on the blanket.
yeah. And I read, so pretty much I think what happened was back in the day, when the kids were dying, they would the priest would pretty much say, throw it off. And if a magic blanket appears, then I don't know if that's true. That's a source I read. I was like, that is insane. That
my
is
sources
insane.
Tell me that's how the kids died.
Yes. And then that's why it was so high.
Aladdin just comes out of nowhere and just whoop.
So I couldn't verify that, so I didn't put it in. But yeah,
Question though: how many times would it take seeing a child thrown off a temple and a blanket not appearing for you to be like, no,
or for you to be like, let's provide our own blankets, just
Like,
in case.
I'm gonna put the over
Zero. Zero.
Yeah.
I'm putting the over under at 5.
Oh no.
Oh, that's awesome.
Any more than 5 kids, you're not touching mine.
4, maybe 5. No.
4, there's still a chance.
4 I'll consider.
Yeah. So okay, Matt, Logan, you got 3, right? Well done,
Correct.
man. I got
Logan
1.
got 3.
Logan got a
Spencer
goose
got
egg.
1.
I would hit the button.
I got
you, buddy.
nothing.
But I
So-
didn't know which one it was.
What's the score updates? I think I'm up by 1.
You're tied with me.
Yeah.
You're up 2.
I
It's
was up
tied.
2.
It's tied.
You're right.
Logan.
You're right.
Logan's got 3.
11,
Sorry.
11.
You got 3, but 11, 7.
I thought you had 8 now.
Nope, I didn't
Didn't
get
get
a
any
point.
points.
I had 7 last round.
Oh, you're.
I
So-
That's
I
right,
picked
that's
the
right.
one that I knew in my heart was true, but I had no clue if it was satire or not because of all the articles I've been going through.
Yeah.
I was between all 3, and so you eliminating one truly did help make up my mind.
Yeah.
You're
But-
welcome.
Well,
So, okay.
doesn't
Well,
help me on the
thanks for
scores.
joining. Now I know that traditions is. Oh my gosh, I just burped. The traditions is the way to go and not festivals. At least I get a point with traditions. So,
see you next week.
See you next week.
Toodles.